Hey, all you Coco lovers, it's me, Coco Havoc. And in a little bit, we'll get started telling some spooky stories. And I'll get more into that about what spooky stories I'm going to read because I have a few in specific in mind. And just for those who are rewatching this, forewarning, I'm not really prepared. I had a lot to do running. Around wise. It's been a busy day. I'm still in my work clothes. I just finished a little bit of my makeup. Not my A game. So I'm just trying really hard today. So I'll get started probably in a few minutes. So you can fast forward if you want. I'm just gonna wait for some people to join in. Yep. Probably take a sip of my coffee because I'm really tired. I'm really tired. It's been quite a week. Quite a week. I'm also like sitting right by my fish tank because it's like a little bit behind my camera. So my fish is like being crazy right now, just kind of like, oh my god, there's all this stuff going on. I just put like a lamp right by it, so he's like, oh my god, it's light. There's a sun right above me. Someday I'll have to take a video of him and put him on my channel because he's something. He's a little angry shark. I'm also not sitting on my bed. I'm actually sitting at my desk for once because I've cleaned it off because I'm a trash monster. I don't even know if Frost knows that I'm streaming right now. I told him I was going to. Because it's a refrigerator, bro. But didn't he channel flow? It says that I'm live on my phone. I'll just tell him that I'm streaming. I'll probably wait until 5 minutes to actually start reading, so yep. I'm super awkward. What are you doing, my little fish friend? My fish son. I also really like. Oh, there's two people at once. Hi, little gamer. How you doing? I'm gonna get started reading some spooky stories in a minute, 2 minutes or so. I was just admiring my beta fish, my grumpy little fish son, my shark. It's okay. I haven't really been watching any streams. I've been busy doing other stuff too. He also hasn't done a whole lot of streams this week. He's been recording videos. Speaking of recording videos, that's what we're going to do Saturday or tomorrow because I bought a very shocking game. Literally shocking. It's going to shock us. It's going to be crazy. All right, in about a minute, I'll start reading some of these spooky stories. Because it be spoopy. A 10 sub thing in school. Dang. I don't miss school. I really don't. School sucked. Isn't that right, Mr. Opal? My little fish friend. I can see your organs. Yep, it's Spooktober. Hashtag Spooktober. The spookiest time of the year. I have like a smudge on my screen and I keep thinking it's my makeup because I did a rushed hack job. Hey, Frost, you nerd. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get started reading some of these stories. What I'm going to do is read the original creepypastas that scared me. And yes, I can actually see my fish's organs because he's like see-through in certain spots and he's really creepy, and I put a lamp right by his tank so like I can see all of them. I'll have to see if I can take a video and put it on my channel because he's such a pretty boy. But either way, I'm going to read the original creepypastas that scared me as a kid and explain why they scared me. So the first one we're reading today is Slender Man. Now first, this really scared me when I was little just because when I was introduced to Slender Man, it was a game. It was a game Cutie Pie was playing. And I was reading the comments and some people are like, he's real. Slenderman's real. And I watched like all these documentaries about finding Slender Man in people's houses. And it scared me. Like I was dead certain Slender Man was a real thing and it terrified me. So the Slender Man was actually something that really scared me. And like I can't play Slender because I'm a wimp to begin with and I can't do horror. A fun story was this was back when I was in, I think, junior high in art class. I was like in junior high in art class and this guy gave me his tablet to play Slender and Slenderman got me. And I fell out of a chair screaming. And our teacher turned, looked at me, he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, nothing. I got scared. And that was it. Alright, either way, let me sit up real quick because I'm slouching and it's hurting my back. Alright, so here we go. Slender Man. Oh yeah, I'm not wearing glasses. After waking up with a jolt, the girl laid in her bed a few seconds longer, reaching over to switch on her bedside lamp. She tried to remember exactly what had stolen her sweet slumber away. When she couldn't, she's brunette, swung her legs over the side of the bed and heaved herself up. Checking the time on her phone, she snorted when she saw it was midnight. The witching hour! Knowing that sleep would only evade her, she left her bedroom for the kitchen, a good cup of coffee on her mind. Actually, by the way, I need to take a sip of coffee. I'm tired as fuck. Refreshing. As she passed by her front door, a chill spread like liquid fire down her spine. It's only winter, she told herself, focusing again on the coffee plan. Measuring out scoops water and preparing her cup kept her occupied. But as she drank the dark boiled liquid, she had nothing left to keep her mind from wandering off. The chill returned, and she couldn't help but glance behind her to her front door. It stood there innocently enough, just like it always. The deadbolt was still in place, and she could see nothing amiss with it. Turning back to her coffee, she did her best to forget the feeling. Itch, 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 itch. With her cup in hand, she started back toward her bedroom. As she walked by the front door, she sighed that a quick glance out of the peephole would help calm her restless mind. The chill worsened with each step she took towards the door, and further away from the safety and warmth of her blankets. Bitch, you're gonna get fucked. She pressed her empty hand against the cold metal door. Who has a metal? Oh, no, I have a metal door. And took a deep breath before leading her eye to the peephole. At first, she could only see an inky blackness, and somehow seemed to swirl itself. When she blinked in surprise, the void melted away. She wished it hadn't. In its place, there stood what she could only guess was once a man. The limbs were long and inhumanly awkward. Babe, is that you? With bulky joints bracing off into several arms, not unlike the branches of a tree. The creature was draped in a black suit, somehow making the thing more nightmarish to her. The icing on the proverbial cake, however, was what passed as the hellish thing's face. It was as though her mind blurred the ghastly visage to spare itself. further shock and horror. I can't read. I'm so illiterate. It's a problem. She shoved herself away from the door with a hand still pressed against it. The scalding mug of coffee fell, the liquid burning her bare legs as she fell backwards and tried to crawl away from the door. See, I told you, she was going to get fucked. She knew somehow that her mind hadn't been playing tricks on her. As she crab walked away from the door, she watched its tendrils as black as the void. She first saw snake around through the cracks. The girl was trapped between the instinct to flee and the gut feeling to not turn her back on the door. This is so weirdly worded too, and I'm making it worse. The door jolted. The urge to flee overcame her, and she slipped in the burning liquid as she tried to make it back to her room. She knew deep down that she was trapping herself in a corner, but she had to get away from the door. The girl was in the hallway. Oh no. The girl was halfway down the hallway when she heard the previously locked door creak open. She screamed and slipped into a wall, cracking her chin and stunning her. After that, there was only blackness. Nicole! A warm... Oh, it was supposed to be nice. Okay, itch. Nicole! A warm male voice snapped the woman out of her trance. As she turned around, she was met by one of her sister's doctors. She nodded, not sure if she should say anything, or even if she could find her voice. If she did have something to say that morning. That morning, she had gotten an urgent phone call from the hospital saying that her sister Lindsay was there. Before they had even left to let her see her, the doctor pulled her off to the side and insisted that they have a talk about what might have happened. Phrases like self-inflicted and assault had been thrown around, and Nicole felt her mind reel. She hadn't fully understood what they had been saying until she saw Lindsay with her own eyes. Her little sister had a bandage wrapped around her head, covering both of her ears as well as her eyes. They said it was to keep her now deadened eyes from drying out, and try to keep infection out of the wounds. Lindsay had made to her ears. The doctor had guessed that either she or someone else had jammed a pencil into them to keep her off balance or to deafen herself against something. What the fuck? There's a mix of first and second degree burns on her hands, legs, and feet from what was assumed to be the coffee her neighbors found spilled all over the entry of her apartment. As Nicole walked into her sister's hospital room the first time, she thought she had spied the silhouette of a man in the windows. That she knew was impossible. Her sister's room was on the third story. And then it just shows all the really classic Photoshop photos of Slender Man in the background that were actually for a contest, I found out. And that's the end of a Slender Man. Creepy, yes. And let me go ahead and look up my next one. Meaning Totally misspelled that. Oh, there's a lot of these. Alright. I'm gonna go for rebooted version. Alright, so Jeff the Killer is... Frost is probably rolling his eyes right now. Listen to me say even the name. Jeff the Killer is a very interesting thing for me because I've read a lot of fan fiction about Jeff the Killer. I already started to write a fan fiction about Jeff the Killer. But let me explain first. I had a really bad nightmare about Jeff the Killer. Like, I was walking up to my room. It was probably about maybe 15, 16. I was walking up to my room and all my blinds are open, and I never leave the blinds open in my room. Like, I sleep on a second story, and it's just really creeps me out when my blinds are open, especially the one by my bed. And well, they were all open. I'm just kind of like, I walked in, I'm like, The fuck is going on? I never leave these doors open. What is going on? Oh my god. Or these doors open, these blinds open. And I was gonna go shuffle one by my bed, and Jeff the Killer appeared in my window, and I'm like, oh no, I'm fucked. And he crashed through my window. There's glass everywhere. It's bad. And of course, my first instinct to do anything is to beat the shit out of someone. So I'm punching his face. I'm trying to fight him off, and I somehow managed to drop kick him or somehow back through the broken window. And so I'm running downstairs, yelling at my dad, "Hey, we gotta get the fuck out of here. There's someone trying to hurt me." Because I've got like cuts and stuff all over me from like his knife jabs and whatever. And then he crashes through my downstairs living room window. And that was it. I woke up. And then it was just like, what the hell was this? What is this? And like I was terrified for like weeks after that. Like I kept my blinds down at all times, except for I always keep that one open now because I like looking at the trees. But I was really spooked. I was spooked. Literally spooked because I pooped my pants. No, I didn't. But it was nerve-wracking, and for some reason I started reading Jeff the Killer fanfics at this time because I was about 15, 16. I was lonely, I was sexually frustrated, and I wanted something, anything, and for some reason that was it. That's what helped me. Well, it might explain my ex-boyfriend, but whatever. But either way, I decided, you know what? There aren't enough of these. I need to work on my own. And of course, if you Google Coco Havoc, it'll probably show up along with my bed Steven Universe fanfic. But that's a whole other can of worms. So today we're going to read Jeff the Killer, and apparently there's the rebooted version. And that's like, oh, it's 35 minutes long. Oh well, I don't care. We're going to read this because I don't think I've read the original story. I probably listened to it. Alright, there's like a whole bunch of stuff. Alright. Author's note. Credit for the characters of Jeff, Liu, Keith, Troy, Randy. Go to the original author of Jeff the Killer. This isn't even original. Okay, I'm gonna go back and get the original. Because I don't want the reboot, I want original. This is also like a Jeff the Killer versus Slenderman, and I don't know if I should read that or not. That's weird. Alright, so original. The original Jeff the Killer. Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After I'm Coco. I can't read. I'm illiterate. Help. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells a story. I had a bad dream and I woke up in the middle of the night, says a boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. Itch, itch, itch. That's when I had a strange feeling. That's more of a Valley Girl, but oh well. Like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of light illuminating between my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. These were regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. That's kinky. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way only a madman can speak. He said, "Go to sleep." What even is my life? I let out a scream, and that's what sent him at me. He pulled up a long, large knife, aiming it at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash like glass breaking. As I came out of the room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out at it to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes, that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head. Police are still on the lookout for this man. If you see anyone that fits this description in this story, please contact your local police. All right. That's just the news excerpt. Now we're getting into the real story. I'm pretty sure I've read this before, but not on here, but in my own spare time when I was a weird, creepypasta fangirl. Because I was lonely and I had no friends. I still don't. Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work and thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother, I have no clue how you're actually supposed to pronounce his brother's name. It's Liu, so I'm going to say Liu. I'm just going to go Liu. Lewis would have been a better name. Lewis and Jeff, come on. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house? What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of her neighbors came by. Hello, she said. I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and introduce my son. She turned around and calls her son over. Billy! Get over here! These are our new neighbors! Barbara sounds like a bitch. Billy said hi and ran back into his yard. Well, said Jeff's mom, I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter and my two sons, Jeff and Lou. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited him to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. I hate when people do that. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid. He sounds like an emo prick, so he's going to be an emo prick. Jeff, said his mother, we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now we are going to that party, and that's final. Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. Go, Mom. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there, looking at his ceiling, when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just a random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he just walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and get ready for school. He sat there, eating his breakfast, and he once again got that feeling. This time, it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished, I'm going to really quick Google how to say that because it's driving me nuts. How to pronounce Liu. Alright, here's a quick video on YouTube. I'm going to Google on it. It's like 30 seconds. If they give me an ad. Oh no, there's no ad. What did she say? Lou. Okay, so it is Lou. Holy shit. Cool. Also, that's going to be now in Anakin's history now. Oh, Frostbite's history now, so that's pretty cool. Alright, itch. The next day, we already read this. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain. But he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there, waiting for the bus, and then all of a sudden, some kids on a skateboard jumped over him, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. Hey, what the hell? The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. The kid seemed to be. The kid seems to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He was wearing a Aeropostale t-shirt and ripped blue jeans. Do skiers wear Aeropostale? Yeah, I guess they would wear Aeropostale. Well, it looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, two other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge. Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Keith's such a douchebag name. Jeff and Lou looked over at the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a psychic to have. And and over here's Troy. I had a cat named Troy, so he must be a pussy. They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looks like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. Damn! And I, said the first kid, am Randy. I have a coworker named Randy, so I want to call him Kevin, because Kevin's a douchebag name. Like, come on, there's all sorts of bullies named Kevin. Kevin's for assholes. If your name's Kevin, you might not be an asshole, but you're probably an asshole. I am Kevin. No, I'll probably just stick to Randy, but I feel like his name should have been Kevin. If I were writing this, it would have been Kevin. Fuck Kevin. And I am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price of bus fare. If you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of his kid's eyes. One of his friends pulled a knife on him. I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it seems like we must do this the hard way. The kid walked up to Lou, took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid. Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet, or else. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. Oh, what are you going to do? Just as he finished that sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed a knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Damn, Jeff! Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He punched Troy straight in the stomach and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. That's lovely. Lou could do nothing but stare at him in amazement at Jeff. Jeff, how'd you do? Or no, how do you do? Jeff, how'd you do that? Was all that he could say. They saw the bus coming. They knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing. So he started to run as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made school, they didn't dare tell what happened. As they did, all they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought that. Where was I? Lou just thought of that. Lou just thought of it as his brother beating up a few kids. But Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help but feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away from the entire day of school, even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop and how he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore. He felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked how his day was, and he said with somewhat an ominous voice, "It was a wonderful day." The next morning, he heard a knock on his front door. He walked down to find two police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look. Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids, that it wasn't regular fighting, that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son! Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true. Mom! They were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou. Hi, Ink Sons. Son, said one of the cops, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have 1 witness proving that you fled the scene. Now what does that tell us? Jeff knew it was no use. He could say that Lou had been attacked, but then there was no proof. It was not them who was attacked first. And then there was no... I can't read today. I'm sorry. They couldn't say that they were fleeing. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing because, truth to be told, they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou. Son, call down your brother. Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids. Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me. That's my best emo voice. I'm sorry, I suck. The cop looked at his partner and they both nod. Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie. Wait, says Lou, and they looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their gun and locked them on Lou. It was me! I beat up those little punks. I have the marks to prove it. He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle. Son, put down the knife, said the officer. Lou held the knife up and dropped it on the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. No, Lou! Oh, okay, that's Jeff. I got it. No, Lou! It was me! I did it! I'm weird. Jeff had tears running down his face. Huh, poor bro. Trying to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away. The police led Lou. The police led Lou out to the patrol car. Lou, tell them it was me. Tell them I was the one who beat up his kids. Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders. Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop. Jeff watched helplessly as the cops. Jeff, I can't talk anymore. Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway. Seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong. Son, what is it? Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying instead. Jeff's mother walked to his father. Jeff's mother... I need coffee. I need some damn coffee. Again, Frost, I don't speak English. I speak bitch. Thank you very much. Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the news to him, as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house. I'm trying to read, damn it. Seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed, he couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by. No word from Lou at GDC. No friends to hang out with. Nothing but sadness and guilt. That is, until Saturday, when Jeff is woke by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. Jeff, today's the day, she said. She opened up the curtains and let the light flood into his room. God, I hate when people do that. What's today? Asked Jeff as he stirs awake. Why, it's Billy's party! He was now fully awake. Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after... There was a long pause. Jeffrey, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the best thing that brightens up the past days. Now get dressed. Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get herself ready. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked down the stairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up, his mother in a dress and his father in a suit. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party? Son, is that what... Who calls... Whatever, okay, Mom. You can say whatever you want. Son, is that all you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom. Better than wearing too much, he said. His mother pulled down the feeling to yell at him and hit it with a smile. Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said his father. Oh, that's his father. God! His father's not a woman! Frost is a woman. Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said his father. Jeff grunted and went back upstairs. I don't have any fancy clothes, he yelled down the stairs. Just pick something out. Oh, just pick something. Oh no. God damn. I just read Frost's comment. Later, Frost. Later. Just pick out something, called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he could call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions, and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and only found striped and patterned shirts, none of which would go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on. Hey, white hoodies, man. You're wearing that? They both asked. His mother looked at her watch. Oh, no. No time to change. Let's just go. She said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. That's right, Barbara's a bitch. They knocked on the door, and at it appeared Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, Jeff could see there were adults, no kids. The kids are out in the yard, Jeff. How about you go and meet some of them, said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat. Hey, wanna play? He said. No kid. I'm doing... Oh god, I gotta get my best emo Ash Ketchum. No kid. I'm way too old for this stuff. The kid looked at him with a weird puppy dog face. Please? Said the kid. Fine. God, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot all the kids. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was something that took his mind off of Lou. So he played for all the kids for a while until he heard a noise, a weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, Keith, Kevin. No, there's no Kevin. Jumped over a fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped the hat off. Randy looked at Jeff with burning hatred. Hello, Jeff, is it? He said. We have some unfinished business. Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you. Oh. Blah, blah, blah. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you. And you get my brother sent to JDC. Randy got an angry look in his eye. Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. It's pretty good, actually. I can respect that. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today. He said that, and Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Damn, Jeff. Jeff pushed Randy off of them, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled out guns out of their pockets. I don't remember the guns. No one interrupts or guts will fly, they said. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed him in the shoulder. Damn. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabbed his foot and twisted it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up, walked toward the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help? He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. Damn, throwing him through a door. That hurts. I wouldn't know, but that probably hurts. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood. Tasty and kinky. I need help. Come on, Jeff, fight me! He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the ground and smashes the glass over Jeff's head. Fight! He throws Jeff back into the living room. Come on, Jeff! Look at me! Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just gonna sit there and let him rot there for a whole year? You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up. Oh, finally! You stand and fight. Jeff is now on his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Sounds like a great time. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, but one in which he hasn't felt in a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. All right, where I just lost my spot. Damn it. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy grasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him, punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Seems too easy. I'd let it continue on for a while. I'd make this guy suffer. But that's me. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Although they easily break their gaze and pointed their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow behind. As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs a towel off the rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in. Knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy falls to the ground hard. And now all that's left is Keith. He's more agile than Troy, though, and he ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He drops the knife and jumps. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck and pushed him into the wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burned both of them, and they both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes the best he could. He pulled away back from the towel rack and swung it straight at Keith's head as he lay there, bleeding to death. He let out an ominous smile. What's so funny? Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on. What's so funny? He said. Is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol, bitch. Jeff's eyes widened, and Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flames made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll around to put the fire out, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, dropped to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flames. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his head. He couldn't see anything, but he felt the cast on his shoulders. He felt cast on his shoulders and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand, but he realized there was some tube in his arm. And when he tried to get up, it fell out, and a nurse rushed in. I don't think you can get out of bed just yet, she said. She put him back in bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there, with no vision, no idea what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. Honey, are you okay? She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered and he was unable to speak. Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed of trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go. This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then the two of you will be together again. What's gotten a little hoarse? Little horse. Nay. Jeff's mother hugs him and says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then the day where his bandages were to come off finally came. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover of his face was almost removed. Let's hope for the best, said the doctor. He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare, awestruck at his face. What? What happened to my face? Jeff said as he rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of her distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color. His hair was singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand to his face. It had sort of a leathery feel to it now. He looked at his family and back at the mirror. Jeff, said Lou, it's not that bad. Not bad? It's perfect! His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Okay. I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me. Emo kids. We're fucked up. God, I remember when I was emo. That was a weird time. That was when I made videos. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at him in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity, snapped. Now he was left as crazy killing machine. That's it. That is, his parents didn't know. Doctor, said Jeff's mom, is my son all right? In the head? Oh yes, this behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here and we'll give him a psychological test. Oh, thank you, doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still formed into a crazy smile. Okay, mommy. God. I don't know how I'm gonna say this. Okay, mommy. And that's what it is. It's okay, mommy. Ha 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 ha. Okay. His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes. This is what came in. The lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked to see the black dress pants and a white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put on his clothes. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over at his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mom. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes! His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired, and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelids so I could see forever. So I could see myself forever. I'd do the same, honestly. I'm lit. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy, so he can see your face, Jeffy. She ran into the bathroom and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway, holding a knife. Mommy, you lied. That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes at them with a knife, gutting them both. His brother Lou wakes up. Startled by some noise, he didn't hear anything else. So he just shuts his eyes and tries to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got a strange feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up. Before Jeff's hand covered his mouth, he slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh. Just go to sleep. And that's the end of that. I really liked that story as a kid. It was one of the ones that kind of scared me, but kind of didn't. I also have this really messed up idea. I could easily just hosting Frost, get on Facebook so I can ask you if I should do something. If he says I should, then I'll do it. Just because it's cringy. It's so bad, but it's Halloween themed. Oh. No, I need it. What even is my life? What even is my life? I need coffee. I need some goddamn coffee. I'm gonna be jittery all night. I'm excited. Okay. I'm gonna regret this. Oh, it's got 19 reads. I'm going to read my fan fiction of Jeff the Killer. I think I started this when I was like 14 or 15, and I started to continue it and try to rewrite it because I try to be this creative writer, but I can't. It's bad. And I actually killed a lot of my classmates in this because I didn't like them. I also use a lot of real life people that I know, so I'll probably change around some names. Hi, little gamer. We're reading my original fanfic of Jeff the Killer. You're okay. Here we go. This is Dream of Blood. It's unfinished and it'll never be finished. I can promise you that. It'll never be finished because it's cringy as hell. Alright, so Chapter 1. Welcome to my personal hell. School. The most cruel I can't even read my own writing. School. The most cruel What the hell is wrong with me? The most cruel cesspool filled with hormone Why can't I read? Anyways, cesspool filled with hormones, it sucks. I can't stand it. I stopped at my locker and put in my combination and pulled it open. Something I actually couldn't do at school. I really hate it here. I mean, if you were me and had to deal with the shit I do, you would understand. A crackle filled the hall. Coco Havoc to the guidance office. Coco Havoc to the guidance office, said a female voice. Speaking of shit, I took my time walking to the guidance office because this is actually me in the story. I decided to do a self-insert story and it sucks and it was a bad idea, but you get the idea. Actually, I don't even use my real name in this either, so Lily Ingle to the office. Lily Ingle to the office. Going there is something I never want to do. I walked into Mrs. Tucker's overly cheerful office. This bitch really drives me nuts, and this is like a combination of two different people that I know. I hate it, but I need to stop adding in stuff and actually just read. Yep. Lily, she said with a forceful smile, please, take a seat. I sat down in a dusty beanbag chair and slowly sank to the comfy prison. My bed. Mrs. Tucker sat in a swivel chair right in front of me. How are you feeling, Lily? She asked, and I sighed. Great, she's going to probe me. I'm fine, I said unhappily. Have you been taking your medication? She asked sharply. You know the answer to that already. I spat. You need to take them, Lily. It'll help you get better. She said tiredly. I don't want to take pills that pretend to make me feel normal. It's just a chemical mess. I informed her. When do you see your therapist again? She asked coldly. That's none of your goddamn business. It is my business when you're endangering yourself and others, she snapped. How am I a danger to others? I yelled. Lily, you know you're mentally unstable. You could go into a fit and hurt someone, she yelled. If I were a real danger, I would not be in this hellhole. Now excuse me, I have a class to attend to. I said as I stood up. I threw open the office door and stormed out while ignoring her shouts for me to come back. Stupid fucking bitch ass whore. That's how you know I wrote it. Just stuff like that. Stupid fucking bitch ass whore. Words of wisdom. Me. There's a lot of stuff like this because that's how I am in general. She doesn't know shit about my problems. I went to my chemistry class and lost myself into my thoughts. I hate school so much. All I want to do is go home. I passed through the motions of school with much disinterest. At 2 o'clock, I went to my locker to get my shit, and just as usual, the harpies came to torment me. Samantha Smith, Megan Reese, I didn't realize that was her actual mom's name, and Jessie Ulry. Jessica and I used to be fairly tight, but then she was snatched up by the two biggest fucking whore-ass slutty bitches to roam these halls. I sighed and kicked my locker door shut, not open. Look, it's the mental patient, Samantha shrieked. I swear her voice sounded like nails on a chalkboard. Careful, Sammy, she might get you, Megan giggles. She sounds like a squealing pig. All three girls erupted in laughter and for hilarious mockery. Their insults aren't even clever. If anything, they're just annoying. Now, where was I? Oh, wait! It could get worse. She could use her witchy magic on you. Or she could get that deadbeat satanic boyfriend to do something. I'm sorry, babe. I was dating this asshole at this point. So, fun. Jessica taunted. Oh, that fucking does it. I dropped my shit and grabbed that whore by the neck and shoved her against the wall. I'm going to just say this now. This is not a family-friendly story. This is really graphic and it's got a lot of language and stuff. This was when I was really upset at a time in my life and I was very violent. And I was actually in therapy when I wrote this. I'm just going to put out that warning now. So if you're of a faint of heart, don't continue. Just stop. Come back later. Sorry. I grabbed that whore by the neck and shoved her against the wall. Listen here, you cum guzzling bitch ass slut. Don't you ever fucking ever, I mean ever bring that shit up. You know that was not me. And you know that asshat and I are fucking oh, so we are over. So if you value your new whore life, then you should best keep your damn mouth shut, I shouted. She had started to cry and managed a small whimper. I let her go. Miss Ingle! Mrs. Tucker shouted. Son of a bitch. I turned and faced her to the principal. Turned and faced her. To the principal's office now! Lit. That's not part of the story, but that's what I think. She growled. I sighed, grabbed my belongings, and marched to see her husband. I am in deep shit. But I got a plan. Now, I'm not by any means a good kid. I have shitty grades. I rarely do my homework. But I've never gotten detention or have been sent to the office for misbehaving, which was true. That was me in school. I'm in that gray area, you know. You know what I'm saying? Now, Mr. Tucker was just red in the face about all of us. Lily, what on earth would possess you to physically harm another fellow student? He hissed through clamped teeth. Sir, I know my actions were not the best thought out, but I was provoked. All I hear those bitches have been tormenting me, or in rather the state size, it's called bullying. I said rather calmly. Then why haven't you reported it to a teacher? He said, exasperated. I have several times, sir, to your wife, but she always says, they're sweet girls. They're not bothering you. It's all in your messed up little head. So it's the school's fault that my issue wasn't taken care of. The situation could have been avoided if people reacted to bullying the way the law states it should be, and I am willing to bet that some lawyer would find this interesting, I said innocently. Miss Single, you have no need to do that, he said. I do have needs, sir. It's known that I am a fragile state of mind, and simple things could push me over the edge. You don't want some suicide note written with me stating that I was bullied with no proof, with proof of nothing done, or worse case, I get a lawyer. I threatened again. What do you want, Ingle? He sighed. I want them to be punished as severely as I am. I stated. Fine. Calling your dad to pick you up. You're suspended for 3 days, he sighed. I nodded my head and left. That's how you fucking blackmail like a champ. Which was something I was really good at in school, too, because I'm a bad child. Also, right now, Opal's in his alligator skull. In between the little teeth poking his head out, and it's really cute. Such a good boy. I sat outside on a bench and waited for my dad to pick me up. The wind carelessly blew through my short blonde hair. It's a nice October day. Oh, hey, this isn't October! It's a nice October day. Fall break will start soon, and I'm going trick-or-treating like a motherfucking beast. My dad pulled up to the curb and stopped for me. I opened the door and got in. You got suspended for what? He asked worriedly. I stood up for myself. Is what happened, I said with a smile. You didn't get hurt or anyone else hurt? He asked. I scared her badly, but not too serious. I'm not a brute, Dad, I said. All right, just don't do it again, he said. The rest of the ride home was quiet and chill. My dad isn't mad at me, so it's all cool. I got out of the car and walked to the old farmhouse I call home. I set my shit down on a cluttered table, charged upstairs into my room, and flopped onto my bed. Life sucks a huge dick like God. I'm actually not going to say that part because that's really kind of messed up. I rolled over and sat up in my bed and grabbed my journal and started to write down the events that had unfolded. I know it's silly that I'm 8. Oh, this was written 2 years ago. I was 18 then. I know it's silly that I'm 18 and still keep a journal, but who gives a fuck? I can always go back and see all the things that happened. Like I can go back and remember that freak occurring nightmare with that stupid made-up creepypasta character like Jeff the Killer. I swear dreams are weird. I finished my journal, grabbed my iPad, and went straight to YouTube. It's motherfucking creepypasta time, bitches. 5 hours later, I woke up on my iPad, by my head, still playing some random pasta story on the tube of you. I looked over at my alarm clock. 10 o'clock. Nice. I was out for like ever. I then checked my phone. One message from Dad. Out with some friends. Be like it later. Cool. Now I'm all alone by myself. I got out of bed, stretched. I hate falling asleep when it's not bedtime. I turned around and looked out the window to my bed, and I felt my blood freeze. Looking into my room with a hideous pale face with no eyes and no lips, just like my nightmares. Fucking shit. Alright, continue reading. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Jeff the Killer. A person broke right through my window and used a crazy huge butcher knife to rip open the screen window. I started to panic. I ripped open a drawer of my jewelry box and grabbed a pair of my razor-sharp scissors. No way in hell was I going down without a fight, which is also true. I have a jewelry box like way over in the corner. It's not the dresser behind me, but there's a whole drawer in there just dedicated to scissors because I got a thing for scissors. Don't ask why. I'm weird. I used to steal them from school too. It was a problem. I could hear my heart pound in my ears. The psychopath started to crawl through my window. What the hell am I doing standing around? I ran up and hit him repeatedly over the head. I then dropped my scissors and picked up my laptop and smashed it over his head. And after what feels like 20 hits, he went silent and limp. I drug his unconscious body out of my window. With much struggle, I managed to sit him down at my computer chair. I rushed and grabbed one of my many rolls of duct tape and wrapped him up all nice and tight. I actually used to collect duct tape too, so I had like 20 rolls in my room at all times. I dashed downstairs and snatched up the home phone and ran back upstairs. He's still out cold. You know, for a 5-foot fatty, I didn't do so badly. I picked up my water bottle and splashed water on his face, and he woke with a start. He started to struggle against his restraints. What the fuck? He shouted. He looked up at me with round, angry eyes. God, this guy was ugly. He didn't have eyelids and lips. He had this permanent smile plastered on his face, like this dude could be the Joker's fucked up nephew. Get this shit off of me now, you dumbass bitch. I need a coffee break. My throat's starting to hurt. All of the voices have not been doing me justice are good. I'm gonna need some tea and honey after this. Isn't it uncomfortable and impractical not to have eyelids? I asked. Like, your eyes must be like really dry all the time. Listen here, you fucking whore. I don't have time for this shit. I got a quota to meet. Now, fucking let me free so I can kill you and get on with my life, he growled. Now I'm definitely not letting you out. I smirked. He let out an angry sigh. What's your name? I asked. You really don't know who I am? He asked, dumbfounded. No, I would remember a fugly face like that, I laughed. I'm Jeff the Killer, you know, legendary psychopath. Come on, I'm all over the internet, you dumb bitch. He sighed. That's just dumb bullshit made to make preteens wet their pants and make them scared of the dark. It's all made up. I laughed even harder. Do I look made up to you? He growled. Broski, for all I know, you could just be some freak paid to scare me. Let me guess. Justin sent you. Well, after I call the police and have you both arrested, you can pay for a new window screen, I said. I picked up the phone and started to dial 911. Calling the cops would be a terrible idea, he shouted. Why is that? I smirked. Because I can disappear without a trace and you'll be labeled as a bigger freak than you already are, he threatened. How do you know I'm a freak? You don't even know me, I asked, lowering the phone. It's not hard, he said with a shrug. You wear all black, which means you're most likely trying to hide or put up this dangerous vibe so people stay away. Then all that medication on your nightstand over there says you're probably popping pills or you have some serious medical problems. Either way, it's not normal. You're also quick to violence, which means you feel like you need to protect yourself, which means you're probably picked on, he said rather coldly. Which means you're a freak. Wow, not bad. I don't pop pills. I'd rather not take any of them. Making myself feel better by chemically changing my brain sounds rather shitty, I said defensively. Sure, he said with a wicked grin. I sat on my bed and picked up a knife he hadn't examined it. It was crazy sharp and covered in crusty dried blood. Are you really Jeff the Killer? I whispered. With a face like mine, why lie? He said, smugly. I started to laugh crazily. I couldn't stop it. It was like inside of me finally snapped. Then that means I beat the shit out of a legend. You didn't even stand a chance against me. I laughed. You're supposed to be this big shot psychopath, and you just went out with no problem. You can stop gloating now, he sneered. Let's do something fun, I stated. What? You heard me. Let's do something fun. Listen here. I'm all about fun, but you're not my type, he said with a laugh. I stabbed the bed with his knife. Not that kind of fun, dumbass. I want to know what it feels like. Wait, no, that's not what I wrote. Not that kind of fun, dumbass. I want to feel what it's like again. You're fucking nuts. So are you. You're not wrong there, he sighed. Tell you what, undo me, give me back the knife, and we have a deal. Deal. I got up and released him and handed him the knife, and he jumped up and kicked me in the stomach. Dumbass! He said as he popped his neck. Now it's time for you to go to sleep. He shouted as he brought the knife down on me. I rolled to the side and picked up my scissors and jumped up. 2 years of Aikido. Don't fail me now. Jeff started to slash violently and messily at me. I dodged each one fairly easily. I sidestepped and grabbed his arm and twisted it, making him drop the knife, and then I commenced to knee him in the stomach over and over. I took my scissors and held the blade open to his neck. What the actual fuck? I screamed at him. What the hell were you expecting? He shouted back at me. I pressed the blades closer to his neck. He winced as bright red drops started to seep in between the blades in his neck. I thought we were going to have fun, but you're just like the rest of them, you twat waffle. Twat waffle. I took the time to create the word twat waffle. I need to use that more often. I muttered, and then I roundhouse kicked him in the head and sent him back into my dresser. He hit his head with a he hit his head with a sickening thud and crumpled like a doll. I sighed and walked over to check if he still had a pulse. Still kicking. Nice. I heaved him up and put him back in the chair and replaced the duct tape. Looks like I got a long night ahead of me. This chapter is called 20 Questions. I plopped right down on my bed. I have a murderer in my room. I have a boy in my room. I mean, I can't let him go because he will kill me. How often do you feed a boy? I took a deep breath and heaved a sigh. I wonder when he's going to wake up. I glanced at the remains of my water. I wonder if that would work again. I grabbed the water bottle and splashed the water in his face, and he jolted awake. He violently squirmed around and started to scream. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I laid on my belly and propped my head up on my arms and watched him struggle. After about 5 minutes or so, he stopped screaming. Can I ask you something? I said. No, he said flatly. Well, that is not very nice. Not very nice at all. I picked up his dirty knife and walked over to him and plunged it into his left thigh. What the fuck? He started screaming and thrashing his head about, and I watched him. I felt that giddy feeling blossom in my belly. Why the hell would you do that? He screamed in agony. Why would I do that? Well, I mean, at the same time, why wouldn't I? Can I ask you something? I asked again. Fine, what do you want to know? He shouted in rage. Did you really kill your brother? I whispered. Jeff's face changed. I don't know if it was shock or just the thought of the whole incident. Yes. I killed my brother, he said calmly. Why do you want to know? You and I aren't so different then, I smiled, sheepishly. He stared at me with his unblinking eyes. So you've killed someone and got labeled crazy. He sighed. Great, I am stuck in some dumb hick town with a crazed murdering fangirl playing 20 questions. I am not a crazed fangirl, I yelled as I grabbed my knife and twisted the handle. Jeff yelled in pain. Don't do that again, he said through gritted teeth. I twisted the knife again, feeling his flesh rip apart. He started screaming again, and tears started to stream down his disfigured face. Don't tell me what to do. I sat down on my bed and watched him. Are there others? Jeff sighed. You gotta be more specific, sweetheart. Are there other creepypastas? Like, are all of you real? Yep, every last one of us. The more people believe, the more we become real, he said, looking at me coldly. The more people tell stories, and the more fear that it creates, the stronger we get. It's a dumb and weird cycle, he said tirelessly. Okay, Frost, go watch Little Witch Academia, because this is really boring, I know. It's bad. This probably won't go on for very much longer. My throat's starting to hurt. Well, I guess that means someone will come for you, I sighed. I saw him stiffen up, confirming my notion. I stood up and grabbed my school bag and dumped out the contents and started packing. What are you doing? I'm packing. Someone is coming to get you, and I'm not sticking around to find out who. I started rummaging through my piggy bank, grabbing my big bills and shoving them into my bag, along with some clothes and scissors. So you're going to leave me here, tied up with a knife sticking out of my leg? He shouted. I slung my bag over my shoulder and pocketed my car keys. You know, that's a good point. I smiled at him and wrapped my hand around the hilt of a knife. He winced and looked deep in my eyes. What's your name? It's Lily, and don't you forget it, Jeff the Killer. And with that, I ripped the knife out of his leg, leaving him screaming and cursing in pain. I value my life too much to stay here and get killed by one of his demented buddies. It kind of sucks, though. I liked my room. I liked my dad. But I also really like living more. I climbed into my old beat-up car and started the engine. I have no idea where I'm going to go, but I know it will survive. There's just one place I have to go first. Graveyards make me feel at ease. Everyone here is eternally asleep. They're at peace. They don't have to struggle anymore. To me, death is a beautiful mercy to those who have to suffer a horrific punishment called life. I strolled past the headstones until I got to hers. Molly Ingle, February 5th, 2000, January 20th, 2010. May she be at peace. It was a really awful day, to be honest. I don't know exactly what happened. All the pills made everything cloudy. I do remember all the feelings. I was so angry to the point it hurt. It felt like I had some kind of fire burning inside me, and everything looked red. I didn't even want to kill her, but she was walking into the kitchen while I was doing the dishes, and I had a knife. I didn't even realize I killed my sister until my mother came in and started screaming at me. After that, I remember not being able to breathe. From what I was told, my mother grabbed me by the hair and shoved my face to the sink. Dad managed to come home at the right moment and pulled me out of the sink, but Molly was beyond being saved. I ended up stabbing her 15 times. I was labeled as insane, but they decided that if I kept on a strong regimen of medicines, I'd be able to live a normal life. Well, I'll just say the whole thing was an accident, but my mom did not forgive me. After Molly's funeral, she packed up her things and moved out west. Called me a monster and that I killed both of her babies. Whatever. I will survive for the both of us. I promise you that, little sister. And with that, I disappeared into the night like all the other ghosts in the graveyard. And that's all I wrote, and that's all I'll ever write. I'm going to end the stream now because my throat feels terrible and scratchy. I did too many voices. So if you want, you can just, watch any other video, because Frost did post a video earlier today that he recorded. I think it was like Black Ops or Call of Duty. It was something. Thank you, little gamer. It was spoopy. It was also poorly written, and actually, I have one more fanfic on here that I know isn't too long. I'm not ending it yet. I have one more story I'm going to read that's not too spoopy. Oh, I actually started writing a draft of the next chapter, but it's not even close to being done. I know I have another story. All right, this one's really, really short. It's called The Storm, and this is actually something I wrote. Actually, little gamer, next week I will do another stream like this where I read stories. I will get a hold of you somehow after the stream, okay? I laid on my bed. Okay, this is called The Storm, and to give some context, this is actually, okay. I actually suffer from PTSD. It's a long story, and I want to eventually talk about it on my own channel. But this is just pretty much how I've always felt with my mental illness to begin with. And it's just a whole bunch of long stories. And it's just, this story is supposed to feel lucid and kind of creepy and unsettling. And just how I feel about myself sometimes. Or how I'd rather be. I laid on my bed with my knees tucked to my chest. She beat me again today. I could already feel the bruises start to form on my stomach and thighs. Why did she hit me? What did I do to make her hate me so much? I closed my eyes tightly and sucked in a ragged breath. It's no use in asking questions. It's no use in asking questions like that. It'll only make things worse. Just stop thinking and you'll feel better. I reached for my blanket. And covered up as snugly as I could. Thunder roared in the distance. Another storm approaches. Would you like another cup of tea, Your Highness? Coco asked. I nodded my head. The giant brown rabbit gingerly grabbed the pink flowery teapot and poured me another cup of vanilla chai. I heard the witch had been on another rampage again after she drank her potions she mixes, squeaked Mrs. Crumbs. I looked into my cup and stared at my reflection. She didn't hurt you, did she? Mrs. Crumbs asked worriedly. I shook my head no. I couldn't let my dear friends know that she had gotten to me. I can't let them know that their queen was close to losing the war of a witch. Mrs. Crumbs looked at me with her big old eyes. She's such a kind little mouse. Such a kind little mouse she was. Just like my grandmother was. Just then, the old grandfather clock struck 12. Your Highness, you have to leave, Coco said sadly. I stood up and dusted the crumbs off of my mint green skirt. Coco looked out the window. Looks like a storm is brewing. Will you be fine? She asked. I nodded my head. Show no weakness. You have to be brave. Before any more questions could be asked, I took my leave and woke up. I heaved a deep sigh. as the creaky old clock downstairs chimed midnight. She must be drinking now. I just know it. I scrambled out of bed and locked my bedroom door and struggled to push my dresser in front of it just as an extra measure. She won't get to me this time. I'll be safe through the storm. I wonder if she'll drink herself to death with her potions tonight. Maybe we'll get lucky. As I lost myself in my thoughts, I caught a glimpse of myself in the broken floor-length mirror hidden in the cobweb fortress. I took a hard look at the girl in the mirror. She's skinny from starvation. She's covered in scars from cigarette butt burns. What a pitiful child. Her stringy blonde hair is in mats. Her eyes are sunken in. She has bruises on her neck from being choked. They hate you, you know, spoke the girl. Everyone hates you. Your so-called friends could care less. Your father has abandoned you, and your dear granny is dead. She spat with her croaky voice. I could feel a lump form in my throat from her truthful words. The witch is your punishment for being an awful, hideous child. You deserve every blow she delivers to you, you wicked girl. You will lose the war, and you will give in to the storm. Lightning flashed, and the girl in the mirror disappeared, and all that was left was me. Tears silently dripped down my cheek as the sound of hard rain pounded against the window. Why is this happening? What did I do? How can it end? You know how to end it, whispered my grandma's voice. My blood froze at the thought of the idea. I couldn't do that. It's the only way, my dear. If you don't, you won't suffer. If you do it, you won't suffer. If you do, you can be with me, and you'll be happy. She pleaded me. I shook my head. I can't. It's wrong, and forbidden in the kingdom. Why not? You have nothing keeping you in this earthly shell. No one here loves you. But come join me and you will be loved and taken care of. The voice sobbed. I covered my ears. I'm sorry, grandmother, but I can't. I shouldn't. Thunder crashed and lightning flashed. The storm is picking up momentum. I stood up and ran back to bed and dove under the covers. I reached for Coco and Mrs. Crumbs. In reality, they're my stuffed animals. But I also know they're my friends and loyal subjects. I'd be lost without them. I looked into her glassy, lifeless eyes. Maybe my grandmother's right. Maybe I should join her in paradise. Little girl, called the witch. I felt the hair on my neck rise. Little girl, come out, wherever you are. She beckoned me. My breath came in shallow breaths as I hid underneath my blankets. Not again. Haunting scratches raked my bedroom door. I know you're in there, my little pet. The scratching turned into banging, and the door rattled underneath her strength. Let me in, she screeched. Thunder roared. The door groaned. The screeches of a witch. Soon it all became the same deafening sound. My room shook. My bones rattled. My tears fell as hard as rain. No more. No more shall I take this. I jumped out of the bed and charged to my window and threw it open. No more, I screamed into the wind. No more will I fight this war. I climbed up onto the windowsill. No more will I do this. No more can I do this. The rain hit my bruised arms, and the cold cut into me like a serrated knife. The thunder roared and shook me to the core. I heard the dresser slide across the floor, and the door start to give way to the witch's force. Why did it have to come to this? Why does a 12-year-old have to choose to fight or die? This earth is cruel, but I don't have to suffer any longer. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Then I let go. The storm subsided. For the first time in what felt like years, I felt peaceful. I didn't have to fight. I just had to fall. And fall I did into an endless slumber. The storm is over, just like my miserable story I called life. No child should ever have to come to such a morbid and drastic choice like I did. I stared out into the blackness and wiped my tears. You're okay now, my little princess, my grandmother spoke softly. I felt her warm hand slide into mine. Let me lead you into the next world, she cooed, and started to pull me toward a light. I closed my eyes, and for once I didn't see darkness. I saw a white light of hope. I knew I had truly won the war and tamed the storm. That's a really dark story, but I'm going to go ahead, probably grab myself a bite to eat, and probably take a nice hot shower because it's been a long day. So, I'll go ahead and talk to you later about a story that I can read for next week, Little Gamer. And I'll see you guys all next week. Bye. Oh, dang it. I keep forgetting there's another button I have to press after end. Alright, so let me try this again. I'll see you guys all next week for another Female Friday. Probably the last Female Friday of October. So, bye!